Welcome to Beyond Broken Hungry. We understand the struggle of juggling your career, relationships, nutrition, fitness, and finances while trying to pursue your dreams. And, stay sane too. We're here to make that both simple and fun for you. In this podcast, we interview a variety of wellness experts to share their expertise with all of us and make this journey we call life just a little bit more balanced. We're stumbling towards wellness right alongside you and are so happy to have you with us on this journey. So, with that in mind, let's jump right in to this week's episode of Beyond Broke and Hungry.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Broke and Hungry. I am your co-host, Dara Sweat, and we've got...
I'm Ellen Hogan, your other co-host.
Yes, and for today's interview, we are at Graham Strength and Conditioning. If you guys pay attention to our social media at all, you always see me, Dara, here working out. I also work with Nikki Graham, the owner, for nutrition and everything else. We have the honor of having Christopher Maxum. He's one of the coaches here at Graham Strength and Conditioning on for this episode, and we're going to talk to him about his health journey and how he's overcome a little bit. So thank you so much, Chris, for being with us today.
It's a pleasure. Absolutely.
Awesome. So why don't you go ahead and give our listeners a little bit of a background about who you are and how you got into CrossFit.
All right. Well, I'm 33 years old, single dad. I've joined CrossFit about 2.5 years ago. I started this journey because I needed to make a life change. The life change was I had $1,000 in my pocket, and I was either going to buy a new cell phone or I was going to do something else with it. And I found Nikki and Tanner's ad on Facebook. So I started thinking to myself, over a couple of days, do I want to spend this $1,000 on a phone? I don't really need another phone. Do I need this phone? What's this phone going to do for me? Or do I want to do something that's going to change me for the better? So I chose it. At that time, I was living a real bad life. I drank a lot. I ate like crap. It was just horrible. Just wasn't doing very well for me. So I invested $1,000 into myself. And I've been here since then.
Right on.
That's awesome. So were you already feeling like you were just ready for a change? Because it seems like it's like a really drastic, overnight switch.
Absolutely. I woke up a couple of times. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're really not impressed with what you see, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and then you're like, there's this whole affirmation things that everyone does now. I know people that do it. But I tried to do that, and I didn't have one positive thing to tell myself. When you don't have something positive to tell yourself, you got to make a change. There's something's got to give there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I know you told me in the past about it was a motorcycle accident,
yes,
right, that you were in. So I know that when you told me about it before, it was really, really bad. I mean, you were basically broken. I mean, you were telling me the doctors pretty much said that they never thought that you would really be able to walk properly again, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. 6 years ago, I was on my way home from hanging out with some friends who were out riding our motorcycles. I was less than 3 blocks away. I was obeying the speed limits. Wasn't really doing anything wrong. Wasn't ripping around, being a hoodlum. None of that. That was earlier in the night. So I'm going home, and sometimes people make mistakes, and this lady made a mistake, and she just took a left-hand turn right out in front of me, and I T-boned her going at 45 miles an hour. I literally sent her front-wheel drive shaft through the other side of the car. I split my bike in two. I snapped my pelvis completely in two. I severed my femoral artery, snapped my right wrist, right elbow, and right shoulder blade completely. I bled to death 3 times. They lost me 3 times. They lost me on scene, brought me back. On the way to Shands, they brought me back again. And then on the table trying to close up the femoral artery, they lost me again. So They brought me back from that. I was in the hospital for about a good 3 or 4 months. They decided to release me. I was healthy enough to go home. I've got plates that hold my hips together. I don't need them anymore now, but for the healing process, I was non-weight bearing for up to 9 months. If anyone knows what that is exactly, it's when you can't walk or bear any weight on the lower half of your body except in a sitting position. So going to the bathroom, I had to be picked up. To eat, to shower, to bathe. Everybody had to move me around. I had to take anticoagulants every day, a shot in the stomach. Every morning, every night, I had to stick a 4-inch needle in my stomach to keep me from getting blood clots on my legs because I was always sitting down.
Oh my gosh.
So about 7 to 8 months after that happened, I After the accident, I was in the wheelchair. They released me to start walking again. He's like, oh, your bones are all healed. Good job. Here we go. They didn't really do a very good job rehabbing me at all. They kind of just like sent me packing and said, all right, yeah, you're good to walk. And then I pretty much like learned everything from there. Like I had frozen wrists, frozen shoulder, all that stuff. And I taught myself what I could, like self-taught, like go to the gym, eat good, lots of protein, vitamins, zinc, calcium, all the stuff I knew to get my body back what it missed and it needed. But I didn't really know what all that detailed, and so you really do your research and you learn about all the stuff that you really get from fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, lean meats, fatty meats, all the aminos that you get from that, things that people cut out of their diets that you truly need to survive. Like purified water. Purified water is garbage. Absolute garbage, because it has nothing in it. It has no minerals.
It doesn't
nothing.
have the electrolytes.
It doesn't have anything in it. It's literally just H2O, and it pulls out of you like reverse osmosis. It's bad.
Yeah,
But
I heard that once, and it blew my mind hearing that, especially with distilled water.
Distilled water.
It has literally nothing in it.
No.
It's stripped down because it's boiled, and then just that's it. And so it actually, because your body, it leaches chemicals and minerals and things that you need out of your body.
Yeah.
And does really the opposite of what you would want water to do.
Exactly.
Which is
But
crazy.
everybody buys it. They buy it. Why? Because it's got that lower dollar value.
Right.
A bottle of Fiji versus a bottle of Kangaroo Purified, $2.18. Which one are you picking?
Right. Right. So this whole journey with your nutrition, like learning these things to basically rebuild your body back, like how much of it do you owe to having a nutrition and having that balance?
I owe 90% of it. 90% of everything that I've overcome to get my strength back, to get my bones back to being strong again, tendons, ligaments, everything. Really just to rebuild the human body. It's all your nutrition. Like everything, nothing. If you want to be super strong, eat to be super strong. If you want to be super lean, you got to eat to be super lean. What you put in your body, that's your fuel, all right? Like your car only operates one way. You put 87 in it, how's it going to run? It's going to run like it's on 87, right? But you put that 93 and it purrs like a kitten. Think about it like that, If I'm eating McDonald's versus like a good old 100% beef burger I pick up at the store and cook myself, what's my body going to respond back to better?
Right.
And it responds better back to all these better foods, whole foods, and it builds you better, and it makes it actually even stronger. So now that my bones are all healed, they were weak before, my bones are stronger now than they were before I got in the wreck.
Right.
So now, like, I twisted my ankle today. It didn't even swell.
Wow.
Because of all of the anti-inflammatory vegetables and stuff that I eat, like my body responded to the trauma like it should. Just bounce right back from it.
Right on.
Yeah, it is crazy how your body, if you are fueling it correctly, it really does bounce back. And I know so many people that, you eat like garbage all the time and they're like, oh my gosh, I keep getting sick. And it's like, well, you're living off of French fries and beer, and like that's not gonna fuel you.
No.
So, and they're like, well, I cook for myself, but okay, if you're cooking for yourself, we were just talking about this on the way here, are you putting in a cup of butter in the pan? Because that's probably gonna cancel out your eating
Everything.
chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's, you know what, it's funny too, like, oh, I'm eating, people always like to say, I'm eating super healthy. I got this, and that out of the freezer. But if you really look at the back of the box and you see the ingredients, what's in there, if it's got more than 6 ingredients, it's probably not meant to be put inside.
Yeah.
It's not whole for you. It's not natural, organic. Like before we had grocery stores and we had people making these pre-made things, as a prehistoric man, we walked around, we foraged for what? Nuts, fruits, berries, meats. And look how strong and able they were.
Yeah.
They didn't die all the time from sickness and disease because they weren't introducing to it. Now people are dying from cholesterol, heart attacks, heart failure. Why? Because they're becoming diabetics because they ingest pure sugar
Right.
on a daily.
Right.
Like, that's something you got to think about. It's bad.
Yeah, I know for like growing up, you kind of have to learn like what you're raised with. And growing up, like my mom did not cook. Love you, Mom, if you listen to this episode. But she never really cooked. There was maybe 3-4 things that she would cook, and it would be 3-4 times a year that she would cook them.
Yeah.
We went out to dinner a lot, and her idea of us having home cooked meals was, well, there's frozen chicken pot pies in the fridge. There's lean cuisines, there's kid cuisines, there's frozen pizza. Just heat that up, like frozen chicken and all this other stuff. And I know that a lot of those frozen things, like nowadays, they're kind of updating it because that's being brought into light. But like that's one thing, like a big no-no for me. Like I will freeze food, but it'll be like fresh, and then I'll put it in the freezer and then cook it again later.
Yeah.
But like I really like all that processed stuff that's in a lot of those meals that are healthy. But it's like, well, how is it healthy when there's 6,500 grams of sodium in them?
Exactly. Like lean ones are good for the crunch, but they're not good to maintain. It's not sustainable.
Right.
And also, I mean, I buy frozen stuff all the time, but I buy frozen veggies. I buy frozen fruit. If I really want to have French fries, I get the frozen ones that aren't already salted, and I bake them, and it just makes me feel so much better than actual fried French fries.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with French fries.
Little things make a change, and sometimes I go to McDonald's and I get French fries because that's what I want.
Right.
It's all about balance. But I am a big intuitive eater. But
when's the last time you had a McDonald's French fry, Chris? He's laughing.
You want to be honest about it? This past weekend, it was about 2 a.m.
Your night out at the beach bars?
Oh man, every once in a while you have to indulge, and that's the thing too. Is like, yes, eat healthy, but also give yourself that little bit of, today I'm gonna kick back. Do that 80-20 or 80-90. Right. Everybody deserves, and don't call it a cheat. It's not a cheat. You're not cheating on anything. Right. You're treating yourself. Like I've worked hard. I've maintained. I deserve a little something. But as long as you're not splurging in it, you're not going overboard. It's not a daily thing. There's no harm in that. So don't feel guilty about eating those French fries with the salt. Yeah. Get them. Treat yourself because you worked hard for that French fries with the salt.
Right.
Like me, I worked hard for those glasses of whiskey and those fries in the morning.
Right on.
I worked hard for that.
There you go. I've heard that it's actually better for you to not even just like on a mental scale of keeping things balanced, but physically it's actually good for you to have a day where you kind of treat yourself, because correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but like it doesn't, like the next day, like your body kind of works a little bit harder because it's like expecting that, so it kind of kicks it into, you're constantly like re-kicking it into that gear.
You know what, I believe I've heard something along the lines of this. I can attest to that a little bit, because I do notice with my own body, and that's what I'm saying, like I can personally attest to it with my own body. I know that your body's one big memory cell, right? Muscle memory, brain memory, all that stuff. So yeah, I truly believe that if like if it's expecting it, it's like, ooh, we're gonna get this. We're gonna pump out that many more calories today. We're gonna make her jump 16 more inches higher, or whatever. And then when she goes to have this, we know we're gonna get it.
Right.
So yeah, I believe so.
It sounds like something that's, we'll have to talk to the actual dietitians about it, but we'll see. What is your favorite cheat meal? Is it whiskey and French fries, or do you have something?
No, that was just his past one. That was a clutch move. Actually, I've cut back on like drinking a lot. But listen, whiskey is my thing, especially just straight whiskey on ice. I don't like chasers. I'm not that guy. All right, I like to.
Not with whiskey.
No, man, you just got. I like the oak, the wood taste. It's just, I don't know. And where I'm from in upstate New York, when you're cold, you take a shot of whiskey. Yeah, that's what you did. Warm you right up.
Yeah.
But that's what we did. So when you're riding around snowmobiles all day long, what'd you do? You kept a bottle of whiskey on your bag. So that's what I grew up with. So now if I want to go have a drink, that's what I do. But like my favorite cheat meal, and I'm gonna be real good about this one. I am a fanatic for anything blueberry. Anything. Blueberry pies. You put a blueberry pie in front of me, I will fight you. All right? I will eat out. My mom, every Thanksgiving, every holiday, she makes me my own personal blueberry pie and gets me like a half a gallon of almond milk, or like whatever it is I'm drinking at that time. Sometimes it's cashew, I change it around all the time. But I will demolish that pie in one sitting. It's not very good at all for you whatsoever, but that's my like ultimate cheat for the year. Like, that's it. Like, when you eat a whole pie, you know you did something bad, but it felt so good.
Oh my God, yeah. It felt good in the heart, but and your whole body's like, why did you do
the
that?
next day I could feel it in my joints, like, oh my God, I ate so much sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, so much sugar yesterday.
That
My skin will
sugar
start
hangover.
looking weird. It gets
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
We actually did a blog post about sugar hangovers and kind of.
It's a real thing. It's a thing. Snack food binges are a real thing.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, when I was up in Nashville visiting her in August, we did like a movie night, and like I'm not a big candy person, but like when I go see a movie or whatever, I'll eat some candy and popcorn, and I ate so many different candies, so much sugar, and the next morning I woke up and I literally, my fingers were swollen. I think we had one margarita at dinner time, and that was the only alcohol I consumed the whole night. I woke up and I felt hungover. Like, I felt straight boo-boo.
It's also really interesting, too. Once you start eating healthier, your body does actually realize what it wants. And when you give it a bunch of, like, junk food, your body starts being like, wait, where are the fruits and vegetables that we're supposed to be eating? That's what we like here.
That's absolutely true as well. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a thing, man. Like, I know, like, I went to Orlando for a weekend, and we went to hit all these music parks, and we ate all this stuff. And when we got back, I just felt like complete garbage, like for 3-4 days straight, because I didn't eat my normal stuff. So nutrition's the 90% of everything you need for your life. It really is.
Right.
Yeah, so you went to Orlando and you did like this like whole whenever I do like the girls' nights or go out with my friends and stuff like that, like you just
feel it.
And you feel it for like an entire like week after. I feel like it takes you, and maybe that's just age, I don't know, but like I feel like when you really are focusing on maintaining and being with like going good with your nutrition and everything else, like when you do stuff like that, it's like your body is like, don't ever do that again for like a couple days.
It's like, Dara, shame on you.
Yeah.
What have you done to me?
What have you done to me?
Like over and over and over again. When you were starting to get into this newer like healthy lifestyle of having to kind of learn this nutrition thing to build your strength back and everything else, like was it difficult for you, and how strict were you being at first? Like did you have a transition period, or did you just decide this is what I'm doing?
I would say, to be honest with you, it was kind of like a transition period because I didn't know squat about nutrition.
Right.
So my first instinct was to start following all the fad diets, right? Like, oh man, low carb. Oh man, high protein. Oh man, eat like this for 30 days. Oh, just drink water for a week and da-da-da-da. So I went through all these different things, and I saw results with them. I did. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't. But none of that's sustainable. So what I really buttoned down to it is when I got in with the gym with Nikki and Tanner, Nikki started doing my nutrition, and then she told me, this is what you need to do. She gave me the information, I just applied it. And that's all it is just information. And then telling yourself, yes, the hardest part of any fitness or any health goal in life is never going to be the actual exercising and working out. It's eating. Eating is going to be the hardest part. So the part that took me was when Nikki sat down with me and she's like, you got to do this. This is what we're going to do. All right, you're going to follow this plan. It's a basic idea. This is going to get your foot in the door. Once we start getting this and we start seeing some things and you're maintaining it and you're sustaining it, then we're going to dial it in more and dial it in more, because your body is forever changing.
Right.
So your nutrition needs are going to forever change too. So as you grow older, chemically, you're changing.
Right.
Your nutrition needs to change with that. So as you get older, you might require more protein, more calcium, more this, more that. So as I became more fit and I lost weight and I got stronger, I got faster, and I got more determined, more focused, she dialed it in more and more to suit the need of what I wanted to do. So that's the end goal, is that you need nutrition to fuel that absolute desire. Like a race car needs race fuel, right? You know, diesel trucks need diesel. Athletes need good, solid macros.
Right.
Yeah. So what way do you kind of approach your nutrition these days? So do you count your macros? Do you go off of a strict plan that you get from Nikki?
Nikki gives me, ideas of what to eat. Not ideas, but more so information on foods, different things I can eat, consume that will give me the results I'm looking for. And she helps me keep track of my macros. She'll give me a certain level to stay at. I'll try to stay with that level, follow it along, and then we'll see how my body reacts to it. And if we have to change it around, we will. Like my body responds very well to high calories, tons of carbs and protein, a little bit of fat. You can feed me 2,000 plus calories and I will lose weight.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird,
Jealous.
right? Right?
Just depends on the
For me to gain muscle, you have to feed me a lot. I have a super high metabolism. That comes a lot of things with like my lifestyle for work. Like when I'm at work, I do a lot of physical labor things. So I burn more calories just doing that than anything else. So I have to eat that way in order to do what I want. So that 2,000 calories that makes me lose weight is different for anybody else.
Right.
You know, that's probably my deficit. You know, especially with the in-body scan thing. You've done that before, right? The in-body scan tells you everything you got going on in there. That right there
Things you
really
don't
tells you
even
what
wanna
to do. Yo, listen, you know you be sweating when you got a nutrition check-in with Nikki and you
Right.
haven't been on your stuff. It's like the week before, you're like, I gotta keep it tight.
Oh, I have a check-in on Saturday. That's why, like, even though she's visiting this week, I'm like, I gotta make sure that, like, I'm like, how much are you putting in there? Like, what are you putting in there? And I'm like putting it
Yeah.
in my fitness
So
pal, and I'm like, I gotta go for another walk today so I can earn this.
Exactly. So that's the thing too. I track my food. I track what I consume, tells me my calories and my macros, and then I also track how I feel. You know, you got to track how you feel too, because not following your macros is good and all that, and that's a good part of your nutrition. But if you are still hungry, something's not getting filled, you know?
Right.
You're not getting enough fat somewhere, enough protein, enough this or that, something along that nature. So don't just track it digitally, track your body, track how you feel, you know, on a physical level. Like, just make sure that you feel good. If you're feeling good and you're performing well, awesome, you're probably good to go. But like, if you're not, just take a look at what you've been eating lately.
Right.
Take a look at have you been drinking enough water? That's a huge part of nutrition. Huge.
Absolutely.
So, meal prepping, I meal prep. You know, I meathead muscle meal prep. I'm not like, you know, the gourmet meal prepper. I'm that guy that goes in there, I buy like the rotisserie chicken, I strip it down, throw it in a container or two with some grilled vegetables, and I call it a day.
There.
Yeah.
But I'm not a cook, so
Right.
there we go. But other
You're
than
not
that,
up in there whipping up these crazy ass recipes. You're just
yeah,
like,
no,
I need
you don't want me to do that either.
Oh, no?
So no, you don't want me to do that either. Listen, I'm good at making 3 things, okay? Pizza, French toast, and waffles. So that is it. All
You
right.
make protein waffles.
Listen, protein. That's why I got good at protein. I got good at waffles was because protein waffles. Nikki gave me a recipe, and like I got really good at it.
Protein waffles are so good.
Oh my god.
And they make you feel a lot better too, because they fill you up instead of with just carbs. You don't like crash from it.
Yeah, with real syrup. Like real syrup, like that
Yeah,
maple
like
leaf or
pure
mock syrup.
maple syrup.
The one where you gotta really fight to open it. You don't just pop the top. Yes, that one.
You know
it's a little
real
crusty.
syrup.
Yeah, it's a little crusty.
Yeah.
That one.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. So, how long have you got into the CrossFit 2.5 years ago? About how long did it take you to decide I want to coach? Was it right away, or were you doing CrossFit leading up to that, or how did that process go?
That's an interesting question. I had coaching was not even on my radar at all, like whatsoever. Nikki, because I was always like, I drank the Kool-Aid, like I was there every class. At the end of the day, I would always help at the end of the day, pick up the equipment, clean up, help set up for anything I need to. Like I was just there, and it was just because it kept me busy, and I wanted to be a part of something. So like I just put all my energy into it.
Sure.
And then Nikki just saw something like in me when it came to like being in the gym, me working out. The people kind of followed me. They kind of listened. Some people even asked me for advice. I had no idea what I was talking about. You know, I'm not a CrossFit. I wasn't anywhere near a CrossFit anything. So she just asked me one day. I remember she was painting the bathroom in our very first location, and she's like, "Chris, you ever think about coaching one day?" And I was like, "No, not at all." And then it's like she planted a seed, and I just started thinking about it, and I started saving up for it, and I started watching Tanner coach classes. I would just sit in there and read a book and watch him coach for like 2 or 3 classes, and like not even asked to. I just did this, And I started like watching and paying attention to people moving and what Tanner did and the explanation behind each movement and all this stuff. Like I just tried to absorb as much as I could. And then next thing I know, they asked me like, and it was like 2 days before it was gonna happen too. Like they really got me with this one. They're like, so what are you doing this weekend? Well, no, me and the kids, we're gonna go do blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, no, you're not. We're gonna watch them for you. You're gonna go take your level 1. I was like, what?
Okay.
Yeah, we signed you up. We were good to go.
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah. So they put me right into it, and they watched my children for me, and I went in there, and I did exactly what they told me to do. You know, I just read the information, applied it. I learned a lot of good things from it, and then from there it just grew even more. So a year and a half later, I went and took my L2. Now I have my level 2, and that one I just went and did. I just wanted to get it just because I wanted to know more.
Sure.
And to be able to do that, because like your level 1 is like your intro, right? L2, it's fine tuning. So like I could watch Dara do a snatch, and I'm watching fine points of her movements, and I'll see something that's out of place, and I can tell her, hey, do this, or give her a cue, or show her what I want her to do.
Adjust your hands.
Yeah. Exactly. Just this. Move your feet. Try to land softer. Land solid. Patience. Get out of your head.
That's a big one. That's a big one. I get yelled at a lot.
Yeah, it really is. And you know what? It's working out. It requires patience. Just those things. And then, boom, got my L2. And then COVID.
Right, well.
I didn't get to apply it yet, but now we're back. We're up and running. We're good to go.
Right on.
Awesome. Yeah. So,
cool.
what do you really love about CrossFit? Like, what made you choose that? I know you saw the Facebook ad.
It's never the same. What I love most about CrossFit is it always puts me in my place. It lets me know every day that I need to be humble and I need to stay focused and always stay hungry, always stay chasing it. When you think you're crushing it, you're not. You can always do better. Always do better. There's never perfection, always progress.
Yeah. It's
All
not
right.
about an end
It
goal.
really does. Like you can attest to that. You'll come in here and do a workout and it'll put you right in your place. Like, oh, I think I'm the bomb. Look at me, I'm fit. Nope, the chief. You were here for the chief. I died back there.
Yeah.
All right. Friendly Fran.
From friendly fan, not so friendly.
Right? No. And then the next day, I got the next workout, and the next workout just didn't go so well on your end.
Yeah, it did not.
You know,
it was not good.
It's always changing, and it's always putting you in your place. But the fact that we all do it together, and it's like it's a community thing. People are always like, "Oh, CrossFit cult, blah blah blah." Okay, guys, I heard this rumor thing about 9 million times all the time. Oh, you're part of the cult. Yeah, so are you and 9,000 other people that have to go out every Friday night. Definition of a cult.
Right.
Let's look at that.
Right.
So, but here, the camaraderie, the community, and the fact that we all know each other, we all respect each other. No one here has, I walk in the gym, they don't care if I can do a muscle up. They probably can't, or they can. But we're here, we're trying to do it together. We're all going to get a little bit better today, together. So that's one of my favorite parts about it. So being humble, it puts you in your place, and the community, it's just, you won't find another one. You can't. It doesn't exist anywhere else. You can't get that at Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
You can't get that at Bailey's. I mean, not unless you go in there with a squat of 15 and you start throwing stuff around the room. But that's kind of frowned upon over there.
Yeah.
Here, it's what we do.
Right. No, and that's so true, and that's like a big thing. Like I always thank, Jess, but I always thank my friend Jess all the time about, she told me for years, you need to try CrossFit. You need to try CrossFit. We both have that same body type, and we both did all the different workouts and would exchange things since middle school and everything. And she kept telling me all these different gyms, like you need to come, and I was like, no. For whatever reason, when she was here, she was like, Dara, you have to come, check this gym out, just come to a class, whatever. And I finally did, and I literally told Nikki to give me the paperwork, like by the end of it, like the vibe. And like I've seen other CrossFit gyms, I've kind of walked into some, whatever, and like even just like the vibe here at this one specifically, not trying to be biased to this gym, but it is such a community here. And like when I first joined, I've been in Jacksonville for a couple of years, and I've been looking for something to be involved with, and like this is more than just a gym. Like it really is, like and people care about you, and like people know too. Like I feel like the more you dive into it too, like if you have a bad workout, like people like just pray for you, because like they know like, all right, either this could have just been a bad day for you, or maybe you're going through something and like your workout is off, and that's a big factor into it too. Like, you know, you could be on point with your nutrition and doing everything the right way, but like if you're going through something, you come in for a workout, like you could either be too distracted or trying to use the workout as a distraction too much and really just like blow that workout.
Yeah, no, listen, like I said, get out of your head. Like, that's a thing. You got to come in and you have to be focused and ready to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to have that workout you want. You're not going to get the result that you want, you know. But everybody has bad days. I have them all the time. All right. It takes a lot for me. Like, some days I have are horrible days, but I still have to come in here and coach. I can't let that project onto my athletes. I can't let that project on you guys. I could be having the worst day, but I'm not going to let you know about it. Because when I walk in that door, it's not about me anymore. It's about everybody in this room. And what I want for them is to be better.
Right.
And by the end of the time I get done coaching those classes, I actually feel better.
Sure.
You know, because I just went through all this stuff. I watch people PR. I watch people get better. I watch people do movements they usually don't do, or they did it better this time. They're faster. They're not dying. You know, their soul isn't on the ground anymore. But it's all part of that. Like, that's one of the reasons too that I really decided to be a coach, because I've done a lot of things in life, and it's always been a take. I've always taken. I've never given without wanting in return, you know?
Right.
And that's what I get from this, is I can give without wanting something back from it. I don't expect anything back from anybody when I do this.
Absolutely.
Just the fact that I just gave you this hour of my time, that you got better, you're happy, you walked out of here, the stress of your day probably just came off of your shoulders. That's good for me. I like it. It makes me feel like I'm productive. It makes me feel like I'm part of society.
Right. Very cool.
That's awesome. Another question about nutrition. So what are some of your favorite recovery meals, or like pre-workout meals? What are your go-tos?
Okay.
So excited.
My pre-workout juice. I'm real big on creatine. Not a bunch of it though. Like, your body doesn't need a whole bunch of it, 'cause you produce it naturally. You just need a little extra to help that muscle synthesize proteins, things like that. But I'm real big with creatine. Thermogenics are cool if used in the right way. I use a thermogenic, but it's mostly natural things like caffeine, green tea extracts, stuff like that. My go-to though is black coffee with 4 shots of espresso, almond milk. That's you want to know why I walk in here with a on my face and I'm ready to go?
Gives you a zing.
Well, now I know.
Oh, listen, I'm telling you. But that's me. That's how my body responds to it. And as for food, like an hour before a workout, I like to have like something easy and light. Sometimes I'll just do a protein shake. But only like a half a scoop with like 16 ounces of water, just to get something into my system if I haven't really been eating a lot throughout the day. And that's just, especially with that too, like if you don't eat good throughout the day, you come in here, try to work out, you got no fuel in the tank, you're not gonna do well.
Right.
But I like to do like a little small protein shake. One of my favorite things is a detox from Island smoothie. Chocolate smoothie. I like their Island green detox. It's like avocado, spinach, and like some other stuff.
Good. That's what I usually get.
That's my guy right there. Listen, it's so good. I love avocados. Like, it's nobody's business.
Yes.
I eat them right off the rye. My mom thinks it's gross, but I think it's great.
Oh, I love avocados.
I'm telling
I
you.
would do that if I lived in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Post is just a straight up protein shake and maybe some fruit, something simple, carbs. It's very simple, because your body before and after a workout, it synthesizes things differently. Like, it responds to it. So like eating a post meal right after a workout, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't really see a difference in my result, but I noticed that if I do something simple, my body can absorb quickly than that first hour after doing it.
That's fair.
Protein or protein.
Yeah, protein.
Simple sugars, carbs. Every once in a while I'll do gummy bears, to be real with you.
Ooh.
Yeah. Just a couple though, only 1 or 2, just small sugars, like just something to put it back in, replace the glycogen levels. Other than that, nothing. But like an hour and a half after a workout, dude, I'm all about a big juicy steak and some taters all day long. Like sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, steak, burgers. I eat chicken, but like I told you, I'm all about the meathead prep.
Yeah.
So like my chicken is already cooked for me.
True.
So
True.
I don't even really heat it up anymore. It's weird. I just consume it as fast as possible. Brown rice, that's a good one for me. And every green vegetable I can possibly eat.
Nice.
Anything that I get, I randomly pick them too. Like I don't even like go in the grocery store with a list. I just go like every other one, and the next time I go in, I go the opposite direction, just to see what I end up with. And you know what? Surprise yourself. You're gonna have something in that cart. You're like, what can I do with this? And it works.
Yeah. I definitely, that's so funny that you said that, because I've been getting better, but like when I go to the grocery store, if I don't have a list, I feel like I walk in and I'm just like, what am I gonna do in here? Like, where do I go? Like, it's the same grocery. I go to Trader Joe's. It's the same route every single time. But if I don't have direction, I'm like, how do I navigate this grocery store? Like,
stay on the outside. Don't go in the middle.
Right? I guess that's true. But sometimes those little snacks that they got there are not so bad. You gotta have treats.
You have to. You have to. All right. Good and Plenty's. I don't know if anybody likes that candy, but I do.
My mom loves Good and Plenty's.
I know. Listen, I don't know what it is. They're terrible, but they're good at the same time.
I used to pretend they were medicine growing up because they look like little pills.
They do.
Gosh. Yeah, they really do. So do you, like, I know everyone has like a different routine with their nutrition. Do you do like breakfast, lunch, dinner? I know you said that you do like a pre and post workout snack, or like I'm the kind of person that I like to do breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, and then maybe a dessert-ish type of thing. And typically my desserts can be like apples, but like, or do you just kind of eat when you're hungry, or do you have a routine?
Well, it usually it depends on my schedule, really, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If I keep myself a plan, I will. You know, breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, before bed protein shake. Because I'm a big, huge person on waking up at 2 a.m. starving. So I will protein shake and like chai and like, is it chai or chia? I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm sorry. And flaxseed, because it like digests slowly, right? That's what I do every night before I go to sleep, so that I don't wake up in the middle of the night starving, because I do. But most of the time, it's just I make sure I eat to where I'm not hungry, because that's the worst feeling in the world. Nobody wants to be hungry or hangry. Right.
What time do you typically work out? Like, is it more of like an evening thing for you, or?
I typically do. I try to keep my schedule varied on that one as well. I like to go mornings, and then I'll do evenings, and then I'll do midday, just to keep my body guessing. Yeah. Because I don't want to become complacent, and that's what I really like about CrossFit is like it's always changing. So I feel like my schedule should not always be the same. I mean, I don't think it really matters much, but to me, I like to get up early in the morning. I'll take my dog for a run, and if I'm in the mood, I'll come in here and work out. If I'm not, then I'll just save it for the afternoon. But it all depends, really, just the day. I don't have to keep a strict schedule for it. I don't think anybody should really keep a strict gym schedule, because then it becomes a chore. Right. And nobody likes chores.
Right.
You know? Yeah. You should come every day, enjoy yourself every day, but don't make it a chore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every person has a different time, though, that I feel like they're just the best at the gym.
Yeah.
I know you and I, Chris, I think we were talking about this last week, because I typically come in, I'm a morning person. I typically come 6:30 a.m. But there is occasionally when my work schedule kind of is just tough, and it's easier for me to work out in the evening than it is for me to work out in the morning. And I work out in the mornings fasted. I don't eat anything before I come to the gym. I wake up, I change, and I come here and I work out. And I was a little nervous when I came last week after a full day of, eating breakfast and lunch and like kind of not snacking, but like eating my normal routine of food. But I actually felt like I had an incredible workout when I came in. And it was, as opposed to the next morning and it could have just been me being sore, but like that next morning I worked out and it was awful. Like I did not feel like I had the right amount of like energy for it, because I really had only eaten like one meal in between those two workouts.
Yeah, well, I mean, working out fasted and working out at the end of the day is definitely two different ball games. Like, first thing in the morning, like I said, there's no fuel in the tank. That's why, like, no matter what, like, if I'm going to work out in the morning, I eat something, or I'll have like that protein shake or something. Something's got to be in there, so my body has got something to use while I'm doing this. Because if you don't have anything in there, yeah, it's gonna burn out calories and fat cells. Like, it's gonna, like, fast workouts are supposed to do that, right? But at the same time, you can burn just as many calories and do just as much work or more, because you've got that energy put through your body throughout the rest of the day. You've gotten plenty of water, all that stuff. Think about it. When you're sleeping for 8 hours, nothing's going in there. Right. And then when you wake up, typically something comes out, right? Before you, like, first thing in the morning, you know, everybody's got to use the bathroom.
Right.
Well, you're not hydrated, really. You're not all these things. So if you're going to work out in the morning, my suggestion is at least get some water in, drink some water, maybe a cup of coffee, anything, half a protein shake, you know, a scoop before, with like 16 ounces of water versus the 8, you know, something like that, just to get something rolling through there. So it's fasted. It's not like you're chucked full of food from the whole day, but at the same time, you're not walking in there on E.
Right.
You know? But at the end of the day, yeah, you crushed that workout because your body had so much in there.
Right.
So much.
Yeah.
So you were ready to roll.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting, like, the way that your body feels, like, as opposed to, like, when you work out in the morning versus the evening. I don't know which one's better, but I do feel like it is, like you said, you got to keep your body guessing and switch it up, and just every now and then be like, surprise. Like, that's why, like, I work out here, and if I'm not here, I usually run, just because, like, I like to run. I'm one of those weirdos. I don't like to run a lot. I like to run about 3 miles, and then that's it.
Yeah. Running anything, if you're not training for marathons, or, you know, you're not doing all that, running anything over 3 miles is just nuts. You know, I mean, are you crazy? Are you psycho? I don't know what's going on. You get somebody hidden in his closet.
I don't run at all. I hate running.
Some people don't like running.
I get my cardio from boxing. That is
there you go. There's different types of cardio.
My heart rate gets up, or HIIT workouts. I just hate running.
I see. You know what gave me the inkling too before coming into CrossFit, to do CrossFit, and it was like the baiter. I did all that P90X and like T25 stuff, right? And it was kind of like this, but not this.
Right.
And then, like, I got super good shape, and then, like, after I did it, like, I didn't do it anymore. Then I got, like, all, you know, back out of shape. Yeah, everything got a little fluffy. And then I made the decision again. Like, I made the choice to come and change life.
Right
but
on.
that's where it was at. Like, those things are like the intros, you know?
Right.
But they're not those 60-day workouts. That's not sustainable.
Right.
It's nothing that's going to keep you going for a long period of time.
Right. You can't just do a 60-day challenge and then not do anything after that, and then expect your body to continue to be on that routine when you're not doing that routine.
Exactly. Exactly. Nikki tells me that all the time. She's like, dude, you can't just do it for a little while and then stop and then expect it to stay. You can't. You know, the same thing with your nutrition. You can't eat good for a month, you know, do a challenge, lose 6 or 7 pounds. Oh, man, I'm feeling great. I look great. And then expect to keep it off.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
You know, you got to maintain that result.
Sustainability, that's super important.
There it is, right 100%. There. Sustainability.
100%.
What does nutrition mean to you? Like, if you were to define that word, how would you kind of put it?
Nutrition is life force to me. What nutrition means to me, it means life force. That's the first thing that pops into my head. Nutrition is the life force for me. The definition for nutrition, I mean, if I were to try to like redefine nutrition, would be life-giving. You know, it's always given to you. Like, you consume it, it gives you what you need out of it.
Right.
So to me, like, yeah, that's like the best way I could explain it. Maybe, I don't know.
How poetic.
So poetic.
Thank you.
What does balance mean to you?
Finding a happy medium. Something that you're okay with, but know that you can always improve.
Right on.
You know? Like, balance. I don't know.
Emphasize
You gotta give, you gotta take, you know? A little something here, a little something there.
Love it. Very cool.
Sure.
All right, one more question to wrap up with you. Thank you again for being a part of this, and love your testimony, love your enthusiasm and your encouragement, and just how passionate you are about this lifestyle and being a coach and having nutrition. So after all of the things that you have overcome to be where you are now, we're obviously always overcoming something every day. You know, every day you have to choose to be the person that you want to be. What advice would you give to somebody who is trying and keeps failing and wants to give up? But like, what advice would you give to them to keep them going and stay motivated?
Keep failing. Keep failing. Don't stop failing. Always do that, because you learn nothing from success. Every time you fail, you learn what not to do. Don't stop failing, because when you stop failing, that's when you truly stop trying. All right, Thomas Edison, he did it 1,000,001 times. All right, Benjamin Franklin, he did it 1,000,001 times. Look at the path in the history of the United States and anybody that's done anything great in the world. All right, how many times did they fail before they met success?
Right.
Success is never going to be an end game, right? Don't stop failing. Because if you really feel like, oh, I'm at the top of the food chain, like I said before, when you think you're crushing it, you're not. Progress, not perfection. Continue to fail, because at some point in time, your failures are going to be your best achievements.
Wow. Sizzle. Sizzle. That was fire.
Boom.
Fire. Yes, that was awesome. Well, thank you, Christopher Maxum, CrossFit coach, dad, business owner, epic all over dude. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We're so grateful for you to be on this episode, and we will.
Where can people find you?
Oh yeah.
You can.
Yeah, where can people find you if
you can find me at Ground Strength and Conditioning.
Right.
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and I'm just.
Yeah, Christopher's not a really public figure kind of dude.
I'm not a big social media guy. I mean, I'm not, but I am. Like, I understand like the social media platforms they're needed in our today's society, because that's where we're at. But I don't know. I'm out there. If you know Dara, if Beyond Broken Hungry, anybody that follows with them or are close with them, you'll be able to find me easily. Christopher Todd Maxum, Atlantic Beach, Florida. Here I am.
He's poetic and he's mysterious.
Ooh.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris. It was an honor having you on here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks again for tuning into this week's episode. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you aren't already, be sure to subscribe to Beyond Broken Hungry wherever you get your podcast, so you can be notified every time a new episode drops. It would also mean the world to us if you rate, review, and share the podcast too, so more people can join the tribe. Follow us on social media at Beyond Broke and Hungry to interact with us and see how we're stumbling towards wellness one day at a time.